And meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki brushed off the critics during yesterday's press briefing about the president's speech. Watch this.
I know there has been a lot of claim of the offensive nature of the speech yesterday, which is hilarious on many levels, given how many people sat silently over the last 4 years for the former president.
Yeah, there was something hilarious about the speech yesterday, Dagen McDowell. Your reaction to all of the theatrics that we saw from Joe Biden yesterday and its reaction from Mitch McConnell, among others.
He's been in office almost a year, and the American people are used to speeches chock full of lies and demagoguery. Joe Biden has nothing when it comes to actually fighting problems that affect everyday Americans, with inflation running at a nearly 40-year high. And as the Wall Street Journal points out, people's wages in the last year have fallen almost 2.5%. So their standard of living is in decline. But this White House, when cornered, when caught in an untenable position, their go-to is to just lie and deflect. I've always said that desperation is the world's worst cologne. And that speech Joe Biden gave down in Georgia was evidence of that, full of lies, talking about how awful the Georgia voting law was when, say, in Georgia, all of its residents can get a mail-in ballot without giving an excuse. Can't do that in, say, New York or Delaware. But I'll just quote before I wrap up David Harsanyi, who writes for the National Review. There is a method to this madness and rage on behalf of Joe Biden and his cronies. Stymied, the president has decided to preemptively undermine confidence in the 2022 and 2024 elections, smearing half the country as racist while cosplaying as a civil rights hero. This is to foment distrust in our system, and he's gasping for relevancy when he can't fight any of the real problems, or doesn't want to, that hurt average Americans.
Well, I mean, you know what gets me, Mark, is the fact that he doesn't change course at all. It's like they don't care what the American people say. His approval rating is at 33%. He's still pushing through the voting bills, right? Most people say that he does not do a good job handling the economy. He's still pushing through the spending bills, the Build Back Better agenda. Totally tone deaf.
Yeah. Look, this is when we're talking about voter ID here, and to your point, to Dagen's points, this is almost like a look here, not there kind of sleight of hand trick that he's playing, because fighting against voter ID, that's not the biggest crisis we're facing as a country. We have many other problems that he should be dealing with, but he decides to show up for this. He's more interested in tearing the country apart even further. There's so much more hatred today. This was extremely divisive. And what is the problem with having a voter ID? It's not racist at all.
Right.
Math isn't racist. A voter ID, I think, is like $10 in most places. I think in Georgia, you can actually get them for free. My kids couldn't get into a restaurant in New York City or Colorado without having a vaccine ID, and when you go to get a COVID test, you have to show an ID for that. So, I mean, it seems like they're arguing just for the sake of arguing because they can't deal with the real problems head on, and that's a problem, and that's why his approval rating continues to go lower.
Hey, Maria.
It might actually be even worse than that. I don't think they're arguing for no reason. They're arguing because they don't want people to have voter IDs. They want illegals to be able to vote. They think that's their opportunity to stay in power.
Yep. Look, right here in New York City, that's what they want nationwide. You federalize the elections. The Democrats will be in control forever. By the way, the majority of polls, a majority of Americans back voter ID. They think that that's just and right. The Democrats want to bury that, too.
Again, they don't care what the people want. Otherwise, they would be changing course.